Hi, I'm Susan. I'm 34, a marketing executive, and from the outside, my life probably looks picture perfect. Cozy suburban house, loving husband, Mark. But let me tell you, appearances can be deceiving. There's trouble in paradise. First off, there's Evelyn, my mother-in-law. The woman is relentless, always meddling, always judging. Susan, dear, don't you think Mark deserves a home-cooked meal after his long day at work? I swear, one of these days I'm going to snap. But I don't. I bite my tongue and force a smile. We take turns cooking, Evelyn. Mark enjoys it too. Then there's my dad, Robert. He's about to undergo major heart surgery, and I'm barely holding it together. I called my sister Emma, hoping for support. I'm really worried about Dad's surgery. Come on, Susan. You're always so dramatic. He'll be fine. Thanks for the compassion, sis. Real helpful. Thank God for Sophia, my best friend. She's been my rock. I don't know how I'm going to handle all this. Deep breaths, Susan. We'll get through it together. Want me to come over with wine? Now that is a real friend. At work, there's Jake. Always helpful, always there. Maybe a little too much. Hey, Susan, want me to take a look at that report for you? Thanks, Jake, but I've got it under control. It's sweet, but sometimes I wonder if there's more behind his attentiveness. But the real issue, the pressure. Balancing work, family, and Evelyn's expectations is slowly unraveling me. When I try to talk to Mark, it's like hitting a wall. Mark, can we talk about what's going on? Nothing's going on, Susan. You're overthinking again. Overthinking? Maybe, but something feels off. With everything piling up, Dad's surgery, Evelyn's constant criticism, Emma's indifference, I'm losing my grip. The day of Dad's surgery, I was a wreck. I kissed Mark goodbye, barely noticing his mumbled response as I rushed out. I'll be back as soon as I can. I called over my shoulder. Leftovers are in the fridge. At the hospital, Mom and Emma were already waiting. Any news? I asked, breathless. Mom shook her head. They just took him in. Emma rolled her eyes. Chill, Susan. You look like you're about to go under the knife. I ignored her, pacing. Hours crawled by, my phone buzzed. A text from Evelyn. Susan, call me immediately. It's about Mark. My stomach dropped. What now? I stepped outside to call, but it went straight to voicemail. Great. More stress. Finally, the doctor appeared. The surgery was successful. Your father's in recovery. Relief crashed over me. Mom burst into tears. Even Emma looked shaken. Can we see him? Soon, he needs rest. As we waited, my phone kept buzzing. More texts from Evelyn, each more cryptic than the last. You need to come home. It's worse than I thought. How could you let this happen? What was she talking about? I tried calling Mark. No answer. The knot in my stomach tightened. After seeing Dad, groggy but alive, I headed home, drained and confused. I walked in to find Evelyn sitting on my couch, her expression grim, like she was attending a funeral. Susan, thank God you're here. Evelyn, what's going on? Where's Mark? She stood, her face tight with disapproval. I came by earlier to check on things, and what did I find? Your husband, sprawled on this very couch, surrounded by takeout containers, watching sports. I blinked, trying to process. Okay, and your father was having surgery. You should have been here, supporting your husband. Instead, he had to fend for himself. No home-cooked meal, just takeout. How could you abandon him like that? I rubbed my temples, exhaustion and frustration boiling over. Evelyn, I appreciate your concern. But no buts. This is unacceptable behavior. Evelyn's voice sliced through the air, her eyes blazing with righteous fury. You need to leave him, Susan. My son deserves better than a wife who neglects her duties at home. I blinked, stunned. Leave him? Over takeout? Evelyn, you're overreacting. Her lips curled into a bitter smile as she thrust a stack of takeout menus into my hands. Am I? Take a look. Chinese, pizza, Thai, junk food. Is this how you take care of my son? I flipped through the menus, confused. These are just menus. What's the big deal? The big deal, she snapped, is that Mark is wasting away on this garbage while you gallivant around town. I sank onto the couch, my head spinning. Evelyn, my father just had major surgery. I needed to be there. And what about your husband's needs? A man can't live on takeout alone. Before I could respond, the front door opened. Mark stepped in, looking between us, his brow furrowed. Mom? Susan, what's going on? Evelyn turned to him, her voice dripping with exaggerated sympathy. Oh, Mark, you poor thing. I saw what you've been reduced to. Don't worry, I'm here now. I'll take care of you. Mark's eyes met mine, bewildered. Susan, what is she talking about? I opened my mouth, but Evelyn's voice cut through, sharper than ever. Mark, darling, you need to divorce her. She's not fit to be a wife. My jaw dropped. Divorce? Over takeout? This is insane. Mark's face flushed red. Mom, that's enough. You can't just. But Evelyn was on a roll, pacing the room and gesturing wildly. I'll call my lawyer friend. We'll sort this out quickly. You can move back home with me. I'll take care of you properly. I felt like I was trapped in some surreal nightmare. Evelyn, stop. This is our marriage. Our life. You can't just. I can, and I will. She snapped, her eyes blazing. I won't stand by while my son is neglected by some career-obsessed woman who can't even cook a simple meal. Mark stepped between us, his voice cold and firm. Mom, stop. You're way out of line. But she wasn't listening. Her phone was out, fingers flying over the keys. I'm texting the family. They need to know what's happening. The shame of it all. I watched in horror, knowing she was weaving some twisted version of events for everyone. This was spiraling out of control. Evelyn, please. My voice trembled. Let's talk this through rationally. My father just had surgery. She cut me off with a mocking tone. Your father. What about your husband? What about your duties as a wife? You're selfish, Susan. You don't deserve my son. Mark's expression darkened. His patience had snapped. He grabbed her phone from her hands. That's enough, Mom. You need to leave. Now. Evelyn gasped, clutching her chest dramatically. You're choosing her over your own mother. After everything I've done for you. His voice was tight. I'm choosing sanity. Go home. We'll talk when you've calmed down. Mark guided her toward the door as she protested, her voice growing fainter until the door shut behind her. Silence settled over the room. He turned back, looking as shaken as I felt. He sat beside me, taking my hand. Susan, I'm so sorry. I had no idea she'd react like this. Are you okay? I nodded numbly, still processing. Your mom wants you to divorce me over takeout. A hysterical laugh bubbled in my throat. Mark squeezed my hand, steadying me. Hey, look at me. That's not going to happen, okay? We're in this together. As I looked into his eyes, the weight of the day began to lift. Despite everything, Evelyn, the stress, the accusations, Mark and I were a team. We'd weathered this storm together, and we faced whatever came next the same way. As I drifted off to sleep that night, a lingering unease settled in my chest. This wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. Balancing a demanding career, family obligations, and a toxic in-law was never going to be easy. But with Mark by my side, I felt ready to face whatever came next. The weeks following Evelyn's dramatic outbursts were tense. She bombarded us with calls, texts, and even unannounced visits, but Mark and I stood firm, presenting a united front. Her unreasonable demands grew louder, but so did our resolve. Then came the family gathering. Evelyn had orchestrated what she called a marriage intervention. She convinced Mark's siblings and their spouses to gather under the guise of concern, ready to fix our marriage. But Evelyn was about to realize that this intervention wouldn't go as planned. We sat in Mark's sister Sarah's living room, the air thick with tension. Evelyn, seated at the center like a general leading her troops, cleared her throat dramatically. We're all here because we're worried about Mark, she began, her voice dripping with false sympathy. Susan has been neglecting her wifely duties, leaving my poor son to fend for himself with takeout while she gallivants around town. Mark tensed beside me, but before he could respond, his brother Tom spoke up, his tone sharp. Mom, are you seriously still on about this? It was one day. Susan's dad was having surgery. Evelyn faltered, clearly not expecting pushback. But she's always putting her career first. A wife should what, Mom? Sarah interjected. Be chained to the kitchen? It's the 21st century. Greg and I both work, and we share household duties. One by one, Mark's siblings chimed in, sharing their own experiences, stories of balancing careers, marriage, and family with mutual respect and support. Evelyn's face reddened with each comment. "But that's not how I raised you," she finally blurted. "A woman's place is." "A woman's place is wherever she chooses," I said, my voice calm but resolute. "Mark and I are partners. We support each other's careers and share responsibilities. That's what makes our marriage strong." Mark squeezed my hand, his eyes unwavering as he addressed the room. "Mom, I love you, but your behavior has been unacceptable. Susan is my wife, and I stand by her. If you can't respect our marriage and our choices, we'll have to limit our contact with you." The room fell silent. Evelyn's eyes darted around, searching for support, but there was none. Her lower lip trembled. "I just wanted what's best for you," she whispered. Sarah moved to sit beside her. "We know, Mom. But you need to understand that times have changed. What worked for you and Dad might not work for us. And that's okay." I watched as Evelyn's defenses crumbled. Relief, vindication, and a touch of sympathy washed over me. Taking a deep breath, I made a decision. "Evelyn," I said gently, "I want you to be part of our lives. But that can only happen if you respect our choices and our relationship. Can you do that?" Evelyn's gaze flicked between Mark, me, and her other children. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, she nodded. I'll try," she murmured. It wasn't a complete victory, but it was a start. As we left the gathering, I felt a weight lift. We faced this challenge together and emerged stronger. Later that night, as we lay in bed, Mark turned to me with a grin. I'm kind of craving takeout. What do you say?" I laughed, finally feeling relaxed for the first time in weeks. "Sounds perfect. But let's not tell your mom." How would you handle a situation like this with a difficult in-law? Do you think Susan and Mark made the right choice by standing their ground? Share your thoughts below.